Hello everyone, welcome to True Crime and Tarot. I am Natalie and this is the case of the young girl Ashley Summers. I have done a lot of research into this case. If there is anything I've missed out, then please comment in the comment box below. Just a disclaimer then that I have got this research online from many sources, and not just that, I would like if everyone could be very positive to anyone in this case. I don't want to see any discrepancies or anyone having a go at anyone in this video. Otherwise you will be reported and you will be put off this channel. All positives should stay on this channel. Just another thing to say then, I don't mean no disrespect to anyone at all in this video, and I'm going to jump right into this and go from there. So this is the case of the young Ashley Summers then. She was born in June the 16th, 1993. Her place of birth was in Cleveland, Ohio. She has brown hair, blue eyes, her height is 5'5", and she was weighing 130 pounds. Ashley has a distinctive tattoo with the name Jean in there, with a heart as well. So Ashley was last seen near a family member's residence in Cleveland, Ohio, and this was roughly on the 7th of July or the 8th of July 2007, sorry. She was 14 years old at the time of her disappearance, and if there is any information on this case, then to contact the field office of Cleveland. The FBI dug up the land in Cleveland on a Tuesday in connection to the disappearance of Ashley, and what they had found was the remains of animal bones, so there was no human remains. So this was at the property where Ashley was. Ashley Nicole Summers was born into a very large extended family. She was the oldest child and helped her mum with her young siblings while she was out working. Ashley was very close to many of her aunts, her grandparents and her uncles and others in the family. She would often bounce around from different homes, like she'd be with her mum one moment, then she'd be with her grandparents, she'd be with her uncles, so she'd be a bit of a rebellious teenager. So around from the homes she would go from one home to another home. Ashley liked to march to the beat of her drum. This is what her family would renown her as. And not just that, she'd always talk to her mother. If they got in an argument or anything, she would, still talk to her mum no matter what it was that went on. Shortly before her 14th birthday, Ashley started seeing a boy who was named Jean. And Jean is this young boy who she had got a tattoo of his name on her arm. So they had met in the neighbourhood, and Jean was actually 16 years of age. But Ashley's mum, Jennifer, she did not approve of this at all. And not just that, Ashley would often bring this Jean home over to her mum's. Her mum didn't like it, she didn't approve of it, she didn't like the way he was, and she didn't like the way Ashley was when he was there. So when Jennifer was out of town or out working, Ashley would sneak Jean into their home. And then this is where Jennifer would start finding out, because of the kids in the home. They would go back and tell their mum, So it was that type of scenario that kept happening. And from then, Ashley got very rebellious. Her behaviour started getting really bad, out of hand, and it just kept increasing until one day when Jennifer found out that, Ashley had gone into a drawer and took out money that was Jennifer's and used it to get this tattoo of Jean's name. So Jennifer decided that it was a good idea for Ashley then to go back to her grandparents, to Jennifer's mum's home, for her to start staying there, so they can keep an eye on her and she don't get rebellious and she can calm down a bit. But she tried doing this so she can keep Ashley away from this Jean boy. Ashley seemed very happy with this arrangement, and she also spent time at her great uncle Kevin Donathan's home as well. His home was always very busy with various cousins being there. At one point, Ashley asked her Aunt Deborah if she could move in, and Deborah agreed, but Ashley never did. So on July the 4th, 2007, Ashley's family had a family gathering at the home of her other great uncle's home. His name was Keith Donathan, the brother of Kevin Donathan. It was Keith's birthday, and he said they'd always celebrate his birthday. It was a huge party like families would back in the day. Ashley arrived, and she said that she had walked over from Kevin's home, and her family described her as looking down in the dumps and not herself, you know, just feeling put down. And from there, this is where they could see that her moods was changing. And once she got into the pool to play with the kids, Keith said that Ashley stayed for about 3 or 4 hours, and then she eventually said goodbye to everyone around 6 p.m. She had told her family that she was going to her Aunt Christina's, which was just a few blocks away. This was the last time anyone saw or heard from Ashley. Then 2 days later, Jennifer hadn't heard from Ashley, so she decided to ask various family members if they had seen her, and no one did. But Kevin said that he and Ashley had gotten into a fight in the morning of July the 4th. So Kevin said that he had found Ashley gossiping about the family on her phone, and he said that he got upset when she didn't listen to him and broke her phone. Jennifer went to Cleveland Police Department and filed a missing persons report on Ashley. They treated her case as if, you know, Ashley was just a runaway, you know, because there is some children that just go running away for hours on end and then they eventually come back. But this was completely different, you know. But the police just said that this was just a normal case of a runaway. So Ashley's large family went out every day to search for her. They searched on foot, on bikes, on cars, and they also put up some missing persons flyers also as well. And there was many tips that come in about the possible sightings of Ashley, but it all come to dead ends. You know, there was nothing of valuable information or resources. The family was very suspicious of Jean, which, as I said in the beginning, Jean was the boyfriend that Jennifer tried getting Ashley to get away from and, you know, to stay away from because he was bad news to Jennifer. So Jennifer said that they put up missing persons flyers near Jean's home, and they thought that Ashley could have ran away to be with him because there was so much love and connection between Ashley and this Jean, but they both had a rebellious type of behaviour about them. But when they returned to the area, that they discovered that the posters has been ripped down or torn down, as they'd say. So the Cleveland police also spoke to Jean, but he denied knowing anything about the disappearance of Ashley. So Jean said Ashley cut off all communication with him after July the 4th, which was very unusual, and he said he had last saw Ashley a few days before when he and his dad dropped her off at Kevin's. Jennifer said that she wasn't very much convinced that he was actually telling the truth at all. So she followed him one night, and she followed him to a very creepy abandoned house. Now, why would people go to a creepy abandoned house? They didn't know. So this is where she went and, you know, had a look. So she contacted the police, but Ashley was not in the home. Jennifer said that she had confronted Jean directly, but Ashley's Aunt Deborah did contact him through social media. But as he always said, you know, he didn't know anything. He didn't know where she was. All communication was just cut off. So there was nothing else that he could say to them, because he said that he didn't know anything. But 4 weeks after that Ashley disappeared, Jennifer said she received a strange phone call, and it was from a blocked number. And she said that the caller said, "It's me, Mom. I'm okay. And Jennifer said that she didn't really believe that it was Ashley that was on the phone, because the caller just abruptly just hung up on her. So you'd think that, yeah, if it was her daughter, you know, saying, "It is me, Mum, I'm okay," you'd think that she'd say more and her mother would recognise the voice. But when it abruptly hung up, she thought this must be like a funny phone call or something of that nature. But then, you know, a few months later in November, Ashley's grandpa and step-grandma were driving around, and they actually noticed a girl that was coming around and walking around, that was walking down the street, and she did have that characteristics that it did look a bit like Ashley. And, you know, she was the same height as Ashley, you know, and the face had a lot of similarities to that as well. So this girl, she had short blonde hair, but Ashley's family had received a tip that Ashley's hair could have been cut and dyed. They turned the car around to get a better look, but by this time the girl had disappeared down a side street. So no one could see her, you know, she disappeared. So this possible sighting never led anyone to anything, to anyone person. It was just like, you know, a connection that has just there and gone and disappeared and vanished into thin air, like sort of thing. So in May 2008, Ashley's case got the attention of the FBI, that they was looking into Ashley's case from a different angle this time. So there had been another girl that disappeared from West Cleveland. These girls were Amanda Berry and Gina DeJesus. I do apologise if I say their names incorrectly. All these three girls attended the same school at one point, and like I said, disappearance from the same general area. So then, meanwhile, Ashley's family was very much questioned, and especially the older male relatives in the family and Jean. They were all given polygraph tests, but the results had never been revealed, which was very, very strange. The FBI went door to door to the homes in West Cleveland and were able to walk around the homes when they were given permission. Nothing came up until one day when a 911 call shocked the nation, and this was on May the 6th, 2013. A neighbour on Seymour Avenue heard a woman screaming. He knew that something was wrong because he knew that a woman didn't live there. There was no women that lived in this place, and he could hear this woman screaming. So he did get a bit alarmed. So this is when he phoned into the police. Amanda Berry called 911 and said that she had been kidnapped, and said, "I'm here and I'm free now." Amanda Berry, Gina DeJesus, and a third woman named Michelle Knight were all rescued from that home, of the Ariel Castro home. They had been in his home since 2002, 2003 and 2004, and they was also living in a squalor. They were living in hell. There was so much that they couldn't do. They was like chained up and things. There was a lot of abuse that they had tormented by this man. And this man, which was called Ariel Castro, I think that's how he says his last name. Well, he was a former school bus driver, and with that, he was a monster. He was one of these people that was very horrible. He abused these women for years and years and years, and no one knew about it, you know. And then eventually, when this man could hear a woman screaming that was in this house and no women was living in there, that seemed a bit strange. So in July 2013, Castro pleaded guilty to 937 criminal charges, including kidnapping, rape, and aggravated murder. He had terminated Michelle's pregnancy while she was held captive, and he was sentenced to life plus 1,000 years, but hung himself in jail when waiting to be transferred. How crazy can people be? You know, it's so disturbing how things can happen like this under people's noses, and how people can get away with this. It's just crazy. It's insane. Utterly insane. But they started having a lot of rumours that was coming to light then, that Ashley had been in Ariel's home, and that there was words that was written on there, R.I.P. Ashley. But this was in the basement. However, Castro said he didn't know Ashley, and the other women don't recall a fourth person that was there. So this seemed a bit odd to the case. Ashley's case stalled then for many, many years. Several years, there's been an age progression photos that has been released, and I'm hoping to have them at the end of this video. And then this is when I come in then, when I thought, right, this is an unsolved case. I want to be, you know, one of these people to help solve it. So I thought, right, I'm a tarot reader, I'm a medium. Let's just knuckle down and try and get to the bottom of this case. So there were some questions that I asked and thought very deep and in tune with this case. You know, what I try to do is not get too connected to this case, too emotionally, but to try and figure out the things that had happened to bring more into the questions and more to light. So what I done is some tarot cards, and these are the questions I had asked then, which was, what happened to Ashley Summers was the first question. The second one, who was involved in the disappearance of Ashley Summers? 3, where's Ashley Summers now? And 4, what is the final outcome of Ashley's case going to be? So I've got my cards here, and I've done them one by one. So the first card that I have asked, the first card that came out when I asked what happened then to Ashley Summers, we had the reverse 6 of Pentacles. So this is a card is, there was a lot of discrimination with surrounding Ashley. This was a very judgmental person. There was someone that was abusing their power, and there was a lot of money scams and theft and possibly fraud or pickpocketing involvements surrounding this case. Next card that came out then was reversed judgment. Okay, so this one was, there was an argument and learning from mistakes, and someone that was bragging over something. So someone been bragging about a certain thing. Then we had the 8 of Pentacles that come out. So there was someone who wanted to build up a business or worked in craftsmanship, that worked a lot, that did some close inspection, that was very productive, and may have had a scholarship or done some mentoring that had some type of success. They was a very hard working person, and they had a lot of hard work in putting this plan into action involving Ashley. Then we had the Queen of Wands. So the Queen of Wands is, there was an older, mature woman who was very strong, very powerful and outgoing, that was very fearless and determined and helpful, that was very relevant to do with this disappearance, that adds some type of involvement. 7 of Cups then is the next one. So this is, there was someone with a hidden identity that was searching for a purpose, that had emotional needs, and that had a lot of choices or decisions. There may have been some type of addictions as well, and fantasies. Someone was fantasizing over things, and this is how they made this happen. Next one, 5 of Cups. So there was someone who was very unhappy, that was very unstable, that went through a very traumatic time, that blames themselves and wallows in self-pity, and there is a lot of abandonment and loneliness, and also some remorse and regret as well. Reverse Magician is the next card. So there was a very violent person who was also a bully and very delusional and a very arrogant con man or a criminal. Ace of Pentacles is the next one. There was some stability and financial security and a new business that someone had that was involved in this disappearance. Lover's card. So there was a relationship that was very sexual and infatuated. Some lover was involved. Five of Wands. There was a lot of chaos. There was a lot of struggles. There was a lot of fighting and rowing and being very, very defensive. Reverse Five of Pentacles. There was a very unhealthy relationship and someone's health was getting worse and worse. Reverse Three of Swords. There was a lot of violence and bullying and suppressing painful memories. Strength card. Ashley had to stood up to someone and she started facing things head on. She had a lot of courage. She had a lot of bravery. She had a lot of power and will to try and save herself at this time. Reverse Two of Wands. There was someone that was approaching that happened in a wrong manner and someone tried to tie Ashley down. The last one for this question is the Tower. So there was an unexpected sudden change that ended up in a very catastrophic way. Next question I asked then, who was involved in Ashley Summers' disappearance? And the card that came up was the reverse Knight of Swords. There was a male that was out of control, very manipulative and had some health problems. He may have also had some speech problems as well. He was very, very cruel and may have attacked Ashley. He was involved in some criminal ongoings. Reverse Wheel of Fortune. This person was having some relations with Ashley. There wasn't anything good that happened. There was a lot of struggles and the relationship was fizzling out. So there was a lot of bad within the relationship. Next one we have then is the Ten of Swords. This male was at his lowest point. That was a very big bully. He had attacked Ashley. There may have been a vicious stabbing attack. And he betrayed Ashley and her trust. Reverse Page of Swords. He was a very much of a big troublemaker that looked for a fight, that was very vindictive and very cold-hearted and argumentative. I then asked the question, where is Ashley Summers now? And we had the card of the Sun. So the Sun is about, there is some place where she may be around farm or around horses, a lot of greenery, but where there is a lot of peace and freedom. Four of Cups. There's some unawareness and detachment and like fantasizing and wanting to get out to this place, wanting to get from wherever she is, just, you know, get from there. But there is a lot of fantasizing, there's a lot of being put down also. Four of Wands. There's people who are waiting on Ashley's return for a reunion and wishing for a safe return. Reverse Two of Pentacles. There's a lot of overwhelmness. There's a lot of things that's going on and it's too much to handle. Reverse Knight of Wands. There's some ill health or needing to run away from a troublemaker. There is a male that is very much out of control and violent. Reverse Empress. There's immaturity and there is a scandal and letting herself go. There is not going anywhere and there's a lot of insecurities. There is being stuck, being tied down and being imprisoned. Reverse High Priestess. There's a lot of deep, dark secrets that's to be revealed. And there is a lot of frustrations and there is a lot of impatience around this also. Last one then, Seven of Wands for this question. There's rivalry and there's challenges and fighting in Ashley's corner. There's a lot of aggressiveness and there is being caught off guard also. The next question I asked then was, what is the final outcome to be for Ashley Summers' case? And we had the Four of Swords. There is to be having a lot of faith and coming to terms with what it is, whatever is going on, just coming to terms. But there is feelings that people are actually thinking she is actually dead. So there's people thinking she's gone, she's deceased, but still having that faith that she is fine, she is alive. Reverse Seven of Swords. So there is to be someone that's getting caught that is involved in scams and illegal activities that can't face their consequences, and that is to be outsmarted with no consciousness. Reverse Three of Pentacles. There's to be carelessness, work in the case with no support and no efforts on the police side. And then we have reverse Two of Cups. So there's to be some inequality. There's a lot of imbalance that is involved with someone who's gone hot and cold, that was not suitable or happy with Ashley. Reverse Knight of Pentacles. There is to be some changes in the case that needs to be looked into and to be worked into, that is linked to a male ex-partner of Ashley's that may be a gym fanatic and that may have some type of body obsessed. Reverse Six of Cups. There's someone that may be coming out of rehab or therapy. Someone may have a poor or selective memory that may have been involved in some childhood abuse and secrets to be revealed. Last card then is reverse Eight of Cups. There's to be some stagnation and someone having a distorted image. There is a sense of entrapment and restrictions and on a wild goose chase, so to speak. So that is the tarot cards. That is what I could get from the cards, what I could tune into about this case. And I really hope now that they can find Ashley. Let's try and get some awareness out to Ashley Summers' family, because I feel that wherever she is, yeah, she is trapped, but she's with someone she definitely knows. Someone that got that control, got that hold over Ashley. And I know deep down she wouldn't have went off on her own. What I can feel and sense, she wouldn't have gone off the way she had. But let's try and get this awareness out to her family, to her friends, and to everyone in the world. Let's try and bring Ashley Summers home. Thank you everyone for seeing this video. I really hope you can all like, share, subscribe, give me a big thumbs up if you enjoy my content, and I'll see you all again soon on the next case. Bye.